I'm Alan Lytle, 91.3 WUKY News. It's time for another edition of Saving Stories with Dr. Doug Boyd from the Louis B. Nunn Center for Oral History in the UK Libraries. Good day to you, Doug.
It's good to be here.
Doug, this year marks the 65th anniversary for the start of the Peace Corps, and today we're going to hear from one of the earliest volunteers from Kentucky.
On March 1st, 1961, President Kennedy issued an executive order establishing the Peace Corps as a federal agency within the State Department.
This Corps will be a pool of trained men and women sent overseas by the United States government or through private institutions and organizations to help foreign countries meet their urgent needs for skilled manpower. It is our hope to have between 500 to 1,000 people in the field by the end of this year.
And by June, they'd received about 11,000 completed applications. By December 1961, over 500 Peace Corps volunteers were serving in 9 countries.
We will send those abroad who are committed to the concept which motivates the Peace Corps. It will not be easy. None of the men and women will be paid a salary. They will live at the same level as the citizens of the country which they're sent to, doing the same work, eating the same food, speaking the same language. We're going to put particular emphasis on those men and women who have skills in teaching, agriculture, and in health. I'm hopeful that it will be a source of satisfaction to Americans and a contribution to world peace.
Angene Hopkins and Jack Wilson were a young couple engaged to be married. They were moved by Kennedy's announcement and the idealism, and they were selected to go in that first group in 1961. Jack had just started a master's degree, and Gene had begun a teaching job, so they actually deferred. But in 1962, they were given another opportunity, and they dropped everything. In this oral history interview conducted in 2004, Angene Wilson describes their process joining the Peace Corps in 1962 and preparing to be the first group to serve in Liberia.
It was right before I was going to have to sign a contract for the next year, and I know that people at the school thought I was kind of crazy. And the same thing for my husband. Was in the middle of a master's degree, and they thought he was crazy. We said yes, we would do that, and went to training in June, and by right before our anniversary in late August, we were in Liberia. Well, in those days, the Peace Corps training was pretty academic, and we had lots and lots of speakers. We had classes in educational techniques, and we also had physical training. We were supposed to do the exercises in the Royal Canadian Mounted Police handbook. And then we also were evaluated by psychologists who thought that having 12 couples in this group of 100 trainees was kind of strange. They hadn't had that many couples before. And one of the famous things that we did was they wanted to interview us separately, and the couples all decided that was a ploy to find out something about us, about each other from each spouse. And we decided we wouldn't do that. At that point, the psychologists had quite a bit to do with who got selected and who got deselected. And I don't remember, there were some people who were deselected. I don't remember the details about that. And we were proud of being the first group to go to Liberia. We went on a prop plane, a 23-hour flight with one stop to Monrovia. We took a white chicken with us, and when we got off the plane, we presented that was the thing to do, to present a white chicken to, I think the Secretary of Education came to meet the plane, as I recall, and that was exciting.
In 2004, Angene and Jack Wilson launched an oral history project with the Nunn Center, conducting nearly 100 oral history interviews with returned Peace Corps volunteers from Kentucky. These interviews were featured in a book published by the University Press of Kentucky called Voices of the Peace Corps. Since the book was published, the Nunn Center has now archived over 1,300 additional oral history interviews conducted with Peace Corps volunteers nationwide. To commemorate the 65th anniversary of the Peace Corps, the Kentucky Peace Corps Association is highlighting the Peace Corps in a new traveling exhibit at the William T. Young Library that opened back in March 1st.
Doug Boyd from the Louis B. Nunn Center for Oral History in the UK Libraries has been our guest again on Saving Stories. Have a good one.
Thanks for having me.